So I was finding it very difficult to break up with this guy because every time we break up, then I start remembering all the good times, the good thing he has done. Oh, he's such a nice guy, he's the greatest guy in the world. And then it comes to begging, oh, I'm sorry, I will never do it again. Then we mend it. Then you break up again, you mend it. You break up again, you mend it. But at the point, I feel like, which kind of life is this one? You mend it, you enter the relationship, you start having problems, start all the problems that you broke up for initially is back again. And I felt like no, it's time to break up, and then the breakup happened. Now, just not long after the breakup happened, another I saw a post on Facebook. I said, I never thought I'd be able to break up. I'm so happy. It felt like I was in a bondage. Blah 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 blah. I felt like what's going on? Are ladies going through the hardship of breaking up? Like there are sometimes you enter into a relationship, especially all these long relationship. This is essentially 3 5 years. You're already so used to the person. You already feel like I'm going to marry this person no matter what happens, and things happen, and you feel like you know you're supposed to break up, but then you don't have the audacity, the effrontery, the boldness, the courage to move on from that relationship. So you stay because it is easier to stay and endure whatever it is that is going on. First thing I want you to understand that whatever type of relationship you're in, you're not meant to endure but to enjoy. I know you've heard it before. I'm saying it again, but it is the truth. That aside. So eventually the breakup happened and moving on was quite easy and all. So now I'm feeling like there are some situations where it's always very hard to break up. But eventually when you break up, something strong that will help you to move on. That is what I want to give us in this video. Like how to move on more easily than you think you will. One of the best things ladies do out there is look for someone that is like a shock absorber. When they finally go out of a very when they are finally out of a very hard to break up relationship, and they want to move on, they just look for somebody else again and attach to. What if the person is also a wrong person for you? It's not so good to attach to someone immediately, but depends. It doesn't matter. You never can tell. The next person you're going to is just the angel waiting to embrace you and give you peace that you deserve. So it's not always so bad. That's one of those things. When you get someone to attach to immediately, then of course your breakup is going to be easy to move on from. But then what if you don't? The first tip I'll be giving you is to break up. First is about breaking up, right? When you find it hard to break up before you break up. That's the rule. Like, what do I mean? Still in the relationship, tell your brain that you've broken up. Act like you've broken up. Break up entirely. Disconnect from the feelings, disconnect from the love already before you eventually now pop the question, or it's not a question now, then you pop the statement of breaking up, the other end of the line kind of statement. That's the first thing. Break up before you break up. Another thing is call to mind every reason you have that relationship should not exist. Because I don't know why it is like this, that immediately when you break up, you start remembering the good times. It doesn't make sense. But you have to call to mind every bad time. You know, these extramarital affairs, they went back to their ex, they are still attached to their ex. Why are you attached to your ex? If he was a good person, why did you not marry him in the first place? So why are you having extramarital affairs? Why is like it's so common? You know, you watch all these podcasts and they say that most of the adultery is always related to the maybe the guy's past or the girl's past. Why are you forgetting what they did and then you move on? That is the problem. How do you forget? If you know you are going to forget, go and write it somewhere. The reasons why that relationship should not and never exist. I'm not saying you should not be friends with them. For those that are scam in a way whereby you can still be friends, no problem. That's for those, and that is in Africa. See, stop watching your American films and start feeling like their life is our life. Our life is different from their life. Abroad is abroad. You get it. They're whites. Their culture is different. Our culture is different. Our way of life is different. Their way of life is different. So maybe you watch too much of their films and you will see even the ex will be the best friend to the wife with the new husband and the best friend to the. Oh my God, it doesn't work like that here. You were friends, you fall in love, immediately you fall out of love, what, you become enemies. I'm not trying to say you should have enemy. What I mean is you were friends, right? Then you fell in love, you tried a relationship, it didn't work out. The best thing is cut off everything that relates to that person. Try to stay away. Try to just create that distance. If you see yourself once in a while, hi, I hope you're fine. The Lord bless you. Move on. That is the best thing. Call to mind the reason why that relationship cannot exist. Call to mind all those bad things that happened in that relationship that you hate so much. If you know you can't call them to mind when you break up, go and write them somewhere. Go and reread them and read them all over again so that you're going to target that this relationship shouldn't exist. And so that you can target that this relationship should not exist. That way, you are going to get over that person, that relationship faster. But immediately you forget, then the good memories come and it's the only thing flooding in your head. Then you want to, I don't know, you don't get over. And now, when those good times you remember, you know what you say to yourself? I think I'm grateful to God that that happened. It just shows that it was not a total waste of my time. Then you move on. Do not sit down and be fantasizing and be enjoying the thoughts. No, it's not your thought to enjoy. Just use that one to give thanks to God that at least the relationship was not a total waste. Then you move on. But what should you call to mind the most? Those things that should not make the relationship. Like I said earlier, cut out all contacts. Try your best. And when for there are some that really end in a very nice way. If your kind of relationship is that one and you can still be friends, it's no problem. And I'm talking about one in like five in hundreds, especially in Africa. We're not really like that. African ways of life is different. The same reason why most, in short, I don't want to talk too much. We're not really like that. Cut out all contacts. There's this other one. People find it hard to do it. I don't know why. Discard everything you got from that relationship. That's one of the best ways to move on. You can't say you want to move on from a relationship. You are still seeing the shoe that I got for you because it's so expensive and it is a very special and unique brand. The gown is the clothes is designers. What's all that? Do you think in your life you cannot get money to get another designer? Or you think maybe the person you are moving on to next is not going to get a designer? What's all that? Stop it. Just stop it. Dash it out. Give people. Move on. If you want to move on, you have to move on indeed. Don't use what will now remind you of the person. If you are trying not to remember, it's a thing if you people are still afraid, which I said earlier is like five in hundred. But if that's not the case, move on and move on totally. And also pray and forget intentionally. Like I said, don't forget why the relationship should not be. I mean, things that you hated in the relationship, remember them so that it will help you to move on from that person, from that relationship. When you remember that, this is the reason why this relationship should not exist in the first place, then it gives you good morale to move on. But then you have to forget everything that happened. You have to move on. Don't hurt yourself. If there were things that were so hurtful and you find it hard to forgive, please forgive and move on. The forgiveness is not even for the sake of the person, but for the sake of yourself. Tell yourself, it's God, I'll forgive him. Let's move on. Do you understand? Because I've been able to encounter ladies that they still haven't really moved on from what the hurt that they got from the last relationship. You have to forgive. You have to know that forgiveness is to God, but for you, you release them from your heart. You understand, especially for your own sake. Then, of course, pray to God about it. Now, this is from just normal breakup and moving on. Like I said, there are some relationships that you find so hard to break up. So this is for those kind of relationships. You found it hard. As you break up, the next thing is you feel like going back to the relationship. This is for that relationship. Now, there is another case of some other type of relationships where the ladies are really hurt, and eventually, when they are out of the relationship, they still feel hurt. Not just that, some of their body is still kind of connected to that relationship, especially when there is already some things binding them together. Like I said when I was doing my video of sex, and those ladies still feel super connected to that kind of person, especially when it's a long, like very long relationship and a lot of such has happened. The best way is to pray. You dream, you are still dreaming of this person, wake up and pray. You are receiving any form of threat, physically, spiritually, wake up and pray. Physically, fight it. Just discard and fight. There should be no reason for threat physically. But if, like, I saw a post online that for those that are unable to move on from their past, their souls are still connected, something like that. If we Africans are in that kind of situation because that post is a white man who made the post on YouTube. Yeah, but for Africans, see, you know what we have? Prayer. Wake up and pray because the blood of Jesus has washed off everything. So you are not connected to anybody. You've spent a lot of time, years, but you have to move on. When it comes to forgiveness, forgive the person totally. I'm not saying when you forgive the person that you now start chatting the person, laughing, smiling, mm, 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 mm. Cut all contact, all anything that's connecting you. Maybe you are still talking to the younger sister, the younger brother, cut off that, all those kind of contact. When you, it's not hatred, you're not hating them, but just for your own peace of mind. When you see them, hi, I hope you're fine. The Lord bless you. God be with you. God be with me too. You move on because you don't hate them. We don't hate anybody. You know, yes, we don't hate anybody, but just pray and move on and pray and move on. Especially when it is already getting to you, just find it very difficult to get detached spiritually. Wake up and pray. Use the blood of Jesus to wipe away everything. And like I said at the beginning, it's okay to be in another relationship if it is a good one. But if not, it's not okay to rush into a relationship. If it's a very good one, for instance, if you have convictions from God, then you can move on. I've seen, okay, I don't know if you've watched this. I don't know the name of this my entire movie. I used to call the guy a single tear. He said I once shared a single tear when he broke up with the girl, but the girl left the relationship. No, 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 the wife was sharing a story of how she left the relationship into another one, but leading her into another one. So if it's a place of being led into another one immediately, where you are sure that no, this one is beautiful, move on. But if it is not that phase, and you are not even sure if the next relationship is going to be fine, you don't want to hurt yourself when you've not healed. So don't rush into a relationship, another relationship. You get it? So those are one of the ways. Now, if you're not rushing into another relationship and you have broken up and you really need to move on and you need to completely disconnect, get busy with something. You can't afford to be idle. In fact, an idle man's heart is the devil's workshop. We all know that already. So the best thing is now to get busy with something. If there's something you do, you can even go outside to volunteer, work for free for people. If just to get you busy there, you can look for NGOs to work with for free. If you know there's nothing you want to do, get busy, start projects, work, go to work, get busy so that it will distract you. And when you're distracted for a longer time like that, you buy yourself time. So during the process of that, you'll be fine. So that is all I have to say. I hope you've been able to get one or two from this video. Please do well to share with people around and subscribe to this channel. I make videos majorly for women, ladies, girls, and if you know you belong to any of these categories, subscribe. If you know you have anybody who belongs to any of this category, then you have to subscribe too. And if you want to know if you're in a toxic relationship, please do also click the video that pops up. And I'm going to see you in my next video. I see you doing well. I see you breaking off from all form of unequal yokes. And I know God is going to be with you. God is going to be with every one of us. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.